Hi, guys. Excuse me. We have some disturbances going on today. This morning, my allergies are really acting up, and um, there's just some loud noises going on. So uh, hopefully it doesn't disturb us too much. And I'm doing the 6-month readings, January through June 2023, for all of the signs. I got 3 put up yesterday: Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. So we're going to take a little break and talk about the full moon in Cancer that's coming up on January 5th, January 6th. But I wanted to let you guys know that I am putting those readings up. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you can get the notifications for those readings. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that sometime this year, and I mean, even soon, I'm feeling a lot better. We've had some tweaks with the chemo meds that I'm on that I take daily, just to give you guys an update. And I'm feeling a lot better, like worlds better. I'm starting to feel like myself again, which says a lot, because there for a while, it was hard for me to get off the couch or get out of bed. So this is a positive thing. I am having some sniffles today. I think my allergies are really acting up, but anyways, so I'm trying to get prepared for doing readings again. Hopefully I can do monthly. For now, we're just going to start with the 6-month reading. So you guys have at least the energies from now until June, and then we'll see what happens. You guys know how I am. I just go with the flow, and I go with how I'm feeling. That's really all I can do anymore these days. So I appreciate everybody's support who's still here with me. And if you would like to get a reading, I do want to let you guys know that I am keeping my $60 30-minute tarot reading live or recorded. There are 2 options on my website. It's only $60 right now for a 30-minute reading with me. I'm going to leave that through January. So if you want to get, right now, my January calendar is open. You can get any of the readings there, but I just want to let you know that $60 reading is going to go away after January is filled up. So after January is over, and whatever comes first, whether it gets filled up or whether it ends first, that $60 reading will go up. And because normally I don't keep it at $60, but it's been there for a while. So I thought that I would give everybody one more chance to be able to get that. And you would be helping to support me. I still have to get some pretty extensive dental surgery done in the next coming months. Not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but I do know that is, that's one of those things that are coming up. So you would definitely be helping me and supporting me through more medical stuff. So I hope you guys had a good holiday. I don't know anybody that came out of this holiday season, and I know that we're already at the new year and we're getting to the new year, but I don't know anybody that has come out of this holiday season unscathed in some way, shape, or form. And when I say that, I mean that there was something that rattled your life in some way, or something that created a little chaos in your life some way. And we're in Capricorn season, which is always the most karmic season. Capricorn season is ruled by Saturn. Aquarius season is ruled by Saturn. Little bit different way, but it's still ruled by Saturn. So, and I put this up on Twitter the other day, but like the karmic activity that's happening right now, a lot of people don't necessarily understand what karma is. It's not like a way to get back at somebody for doing something bad. Like, how people say karma is a bitch, karma is not just a bad thing. You can also build up good karma too, or have good karma in your life as well. And what people don't understand is every single thing we do is a karmic activity. You're not doing like one specific thing and then creating karma for yourself later. every single choice that you make is going to be like a chain reaction for the next choice that you have to make and the next choice that you have to make. And usually when we're in chaotic situations and we haven't learned how to relax our panic mode, our chaos mode, it can kind of come up and like rear its ugly head and be a little bit wild and obnoxious and fierce. And we don't think straight. We don't think straight when we're in panic mode. We don't think straight when we're in survival mode. We don't think straight when our nervous system is like freaking out. And this New Year's energy is not going to be any different. There's definitely a lot of stuff that's churning. Like there's constant turnovers that are happening. So I put this tweet up it was a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, this karmic activity, like you're seeing it in real time right now. Like you're seeing the reactions happen, especially if you're somebody who's consciously aware, who can see the tiny details and can see like the little, breaks in the energy or like the tears within the parallel universes. Like you can, if you're aware and you know what's going on in all the little tiny details of the world, you can see these karmic reactions happening very quickly. So it really depends on how you are choosing to react or to respond to the chaos that's happening. We're going to talk about the energy that's happening on New Year's Day, which will be January 1st, because it'll be very interesting. And then we're going to also talk about what's happening with that full moon in Cancer on January 6th. I was thinking about the first New Year that I was doing a reading. I was actually in a hotel in Kansas City, and I was by myself for New Year's. I had gotten a bottle of champagne New Year's Eve, and I drank it all myself, and I jumped up and down on the bed when the ball dropped in New York City, and I fell asleep at 11 o'clock at night. Then I woke up the next morning, and on January 1st was the Cancer full moon. And I remember actually I can think back to that day and actually doing the Cancer reading on the Cancer full moon. Now I'll be doing the 6-month Cancer reading today, or, hopefully putting it up today. We'll see. But, it's just like thinking back to where I was, man, that was the 2008, that was January of 2018. So it was 2017 moving into 2018, and how far I've come from that point in my life, and like all of the things that have happened. Like my life looks completely different from that time. And that was like literally 5 years ago. Like it was, it's just flipped, total 180, completely upside down from where I was back then. So, if you're going through some things right now, I want you to recognize and remember that everything that we go through is temporary. And you can absolutely, we have to grieve, and we have to process, and we have to get through the emotions, and we have to allow ourselves to see different perspectives. Like humans have such a tunnel vision view of life. And if we're not looking outside of what's actually happening in front of us, we can't see the bigger picture. We can't see that things will change and there will be prosperous times again. And, sitting in a victimhood stance will 100% give you life that will oblige that victimhood. And you'll continually be sitting in a perpetuated state of suffering. Right? So if we choose to not be victims of our circumstances, if we choose to be able to see things in a bigger perspective, in a bigger way, the suffering ends. And that's something that I've had to learn in so many ways this year. Like it's not, that's one of those lessons that not many people can grasp until they're absolutely forced to. And I will 100% tell you that back in 2018, when I was doing those readings, I was absolutely a victim of my circumstances. I was trying not to be. There were a lot of ways that I was trying not to be, but I didn't quite understand what that was. Even if my outside life looked like I was, I'm going to see if I can quit with it keeps unfocusing, and it's really annoying me. But I was trying, on the outside, it may have looked like I was just being strong and I was pushing forward and I was doing what I needed to do. Give me a second. Things are going to look a little funny for a minute. Just like that. Okay. Actually, I think we'll just leave it this way. I don't want to autofocus. There we go. So I was absolutely trying not to be a victim of my circumstances back then, but inside, like the inside of me, everything that I was doing, everything that I was saying to myself, that's where the suffering. It may not have looked like I was suffering on the outside, but I was absolutely choosing the suffering path on the inside. So when I realized what not suffering on the inside truly looked like, it was about faith. And it was about knowing that no matter what happened in my life, no matter how that looked, I always had the choice to see it as something that I was processing and going through and learning through, or it was something that I could just sit in and be sad about and think that my life was over because of it, or think that I could not go on, that I couldn't keep moving forward and going on. So I hope you all have had an opportunity to be able to see perspectives from different ways. And I hope that you all know and understand that loving yourself and, creating life the way that you want to see it within yourself, and allowing yourself to not be the victim of your circumstances, that's what's going to keep you out of the suffering. That's what's going to keep you, present and grounded and, having faith and stuff. Like, I know that it sounds like a really woo-woo kind of concept on having faith. I have my 12th house North Node conjunct Venus in my 12th house. I literally had to learn how to live by faith, or I would have just continued suffering in my life over and over and over again. So here we are. And I hope that you guys can really come into the new year with a different perspective for yourself and know that, everything is temporary, and it's just, things are going to go the way that they need to go, for you and for your life. So let's look at January 1st really quick. Share my screen here. January 1st is kind of a clusterfuck. I'm not going to lie to you. We see all of these things that are happening here. We have, first of all, let's, pay tribute to that Mercury retrograde. That Mercury retrograde is going to be starting on the 29th of December. We've been in the shadow period for the last couple weeks. And we start on the 29th of December, and Mercury will go direct on January 18th. And then we'll come out of post shadow the first week in February. So whatever it is that's happening right now in your life and the things that are coming up for you right now in your life, you will absolutely, the 29th is tomorrow. So Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow. So you will be reassessing things. Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year. You have dealt with Mercury retrograde 3 times a year for your entire existence, and you've survived all of them. And it's absolutely something that can be handled. Now, will there be chaos? Well, Mercury is right here, only 5 degrees away from Pluto on the 1st of January. The sun is going to be square Chiron exact on January 1st. And the sun is also going to be trine the north node. And the moon is going to be conjunct the north node, sitting right here in between Uranus and the north node. Now, Uranus also has a pretty big play with the full moon in Cancer as well. So things are going to be changing. There's going to be more changes. There's going to be more shifts. There's going to be a lot of that happening in the coming days, in the coming weeks. As we start, we're also going to have Venus conjunct Pluto on the 1st of, actually, it's going to be happening on December 31st. Please don't do any proposals this year. Like, I beg of you, they're going to be like full of so many lessons, so many like death and rebirth cycles. And, you know, honestly, relationships are full of death and rebirth cycles anyways, but this is in Capricorn. Like, I mean, years ago, I tried to warn a friend of mine from getting married on a full moon in Capricorn in July during Cancer season. And she didn't listen to me. And that was a really messy situation. So I'm just trying to, like, I don't want you guys to go through messy situations. I want you guys to be able to thrive and be happy and joyous and all of that. So maybe wait for that proposal. Maybe wait a few weeks until January goes direct. Honestly, I don't want anybody to stop their life because Mercury is retrograde, Mars is still retrograde, Uranus is still retrograde. I was going to look and see when Uranus goes direct, and I forgot to do that before I started the camera. So let me see. If I can get this, just give me a second. I know the waiting, right? Let's see. Next direction change, January 22nd. Okay. So, you know, we're having Mercury, Mars, and Uranus retrograde in January as well. And for the majority of January, you know, there will be things that come up, like even doing these 6-month readings. January has sort of been a disaster for every sign. Like, nobody is getting out unscathed is what I'm coming at, like going all the way back to the beginning of this video. Nobody's coming out unscathed. And that doesn't mean, like, I'm not here again to fearmonger anybody. Like, I'm not here to be like, life sucks and everybody's just going to have to deal with the suck of life. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to let you guys know that there's a way through this without causing yourself any extra suffering, you know? And a lot of that is to be able to look at things for face value, look at things for what they are, look at things for, you know, instead of constantly trying to fix stuff that will not work over and over and over again, try something different, go a different direction, you know, change yourself. When we change ourselves, and we change our perspective, life begins to open up. And I'm living, walking proof of that. Like, I wouldn't be saying those things to you if it didn't work for me. And a lot of people have come to me and they're like, it's not easy for me to do it. I don't know. You make it look so easy. And I'm going to tell you guys, it wasn't easy for me either. To be able to look chaos straight in the face and say, I don't want drama anymore. I don't want chaos in my life anymore. And you can have chaos happening around you and not have it directly affect you. It's entirely possible. You can have chaos directly affecting you and be able to respond in a way where it doesn't sit there in your experience forever. There's been a lot of really heavy stuff happen this year. And in December, especially, I've seen a lot of people change their life. Like a lot of people's lives have completely changed. One day it looked like one thing, and the next day it looked completely different. And whether it was on a positive way or a negative way, their life was in some kind of uproar in some way, shape, or form. And everything works out the way that it's supposed to. And really, it is the way that we are showing up in those occasions, and the way that we're showing up for ourselves, the way that we're showing up for the other people. I was not untouched through all of this. My son, Jack, a lot of you guys know who that is, came to visit me, my youngest, with his grandmother. And they were here for a week, and it was a beautiful, wonderful visit. And we had beautiful Christmas Day, and everything is wonderful. They were supposed to fly back to Kansas City on the 26th, and Southwest decided that they were going to cancel all of their flights. So I had my autistic child in an airport, in the Denver International Airport. Thank you very much. And he was in a very overwhelming situation, traumatized by the whole thing. And I couldn't do anything about it because I'm 2 hours away from the Denver airport. And we thought that we were going to be able to change the flight, and then everything got canceled again. And it was very frustrating. And all I could do was sit here and crochet and like find things to keep myself busy so that I wasn't losing my mind. And I knew that everything was going to work out. I knew that they were going to get home. I knew that they weren't going to get stranded, and they weren't. His dad ended up driving 18 hours. Thank you to his father, driving 18 hours to get back. But this is what I'm saying. Like, everybody was touched in some way by the crazy energy this week, and by the holiday energy this week. And so, when we find that compassion and that empathy for ourselves, we can also give that compassion and empathy for other people. It was difficult to be able to get through that. And I had my moments where I sort of flew off the handle, and was not happy about what was going on, but there was also nothing that I could do about it. So when we're in situations that we can't control, the only thing that we can control is ourselves and how we deal with it. So, New Year's energy is going to be, quite insane. The Sun square Chiron is going to be something, a lot of people are going to be projecting their wounds. Chiron is the wounded healer, and wherever Chiron is transiting in your chart, or even your natal Chiron, this is actually where we find a lot of our strengths, most of our strengths. But when people want to play the victim, they can't see where that Chiron strength is. A lot of times that Chiron energy is where you're playing the victim. So wherever it's transiting, or wherever it is sitting natally, wherever Chiron is sitting natally in your chart, if you research that, you'll be able to see, oh, wow, I can gain strength from this by healing myself, and by recognizing and being aware of how I respond and react. The Sun trine North Node with the Moon conjunct North Node sitting right here with Uranus. Excuse me. And having Pluto up here with Venus, there are going to be a lot of changes when it comes to our finances. Capricorn Venus is very, very focused on the financial state of things. Remember that Pluto is where we must die before we're reborn. So whatever it is that you're still holding out hope for, or you're holding on to when it comes to your finances, whatever ideas or beliefs or something like that, if that's what's causing you your suffering, that's the thing that you need to watch and let go. With the Sun trine the North Node and the Moon conjunct the North Node, this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful day to watch fated events happening. And so this is why I brought up that whole, like, the karmic thing is really like, you can see it happening in real time. That's truly, truly, truly how this January 1st. I already feel different. I can already sort of feel the energy as we're shifting into a new year on the Gregorian calendar. The astrological new year happens at the end in March when we start Aries season. But this is a big time. It's a big energy. It's, a lot of people want to see their lives change when it comes to a new year. So let's look at the January 5th Cancer, or I'm sorry, the 6th. I don't know why I keep saying the 5th. For some reason, I have it in my head that it's on January 5th, and it's totally not, you guys. It's on January 6th. 4:07 p.m. Mountain Time. So it'll be 6:07 p.m. Eastern on January 6th, Friday, January 6th. And it'll be 3:07 p.m. Pacific. That's the full moon. And this full moon is going to absolutely be about release. So, we're going to feel this build up. And the reason why I wanted to show you that January 1st energy as well is because I want you to see whatever's happening to you during that time. And again, nobody is going to come out of this without feeling something. There will be feelings about whether it's a positive feeling or whether it's a negative feeling. There will be an overwhelming feeling of something changing and something shifting in your life. We have the moon here. Remember, the full moon means that the moon is opposite the sun. And so the sun is shining all that beautiful light on the moon so we can see it fully at night. They're creating together, if you will. We have Mercury here retrograde at 17 degrees, basically conjunct the sun during this full moon, basically opposite the sun during this full moon. So whatever it is that Mercury retrograde pre-shadow has been showing you during this time, absolutely is going to still be like, that's what really is going to be the biggest kind of energy that we're going to see during this full moon is the Mercury retrograde stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we got to let go of, and full moons allow us to let go of. I don't know why my video keeps glitching, so I apologize for that. I hope you guys aren't seeing it on your end, but if you are, at least we're able to still get through it. Electronics, speaking of glitching, electronics, we've actually had electronics glitching for several weeks now, probably since the beginning of December. We had our microwave glitch, we had our phones glitch, we had the stove, it's a gas stove, but the electric part of the gas stove glitched. So electronics are kind of being weird. I think that has a lot to do with Uranus as well. Speaking of Uranus, Uranus is going to be trine this Mercury retrograde and also sextile the full moon. Mercury will be sextile, or I'm sorry, Uranus will be sextile the full moon. And so there's, Uranus again is the sudden changes that are happening in our lives. And so, expect the unexpected. Like, I wake up every single day with zero expectations of what my day is going to look like. If I had expectations of what my day was going to look like, I would probably not get a whole lot done because my old self would be paralyzed at all of this information and energy that's happening. I also forgot to say that let's see, if we go back to, I didn't save it. On that January 1st, we're also going to be seeing some things with Neptune as well. So just really preparing yourself. I wrote it down. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, Mercury will be sextile Neptune. Mercury retrograde will be sextile Neptune. So, and that's actually happening on the 2nd, but we'll also feel it on the 1st. And that's going to be a really big, there's going to be a lot of confusion happening with Mercury retrograde. And so just allowing yourself to let the chaos happen, let the electronic bullshit happen. If you need to upgrade your phone, if you need to upgrade your computer, if you need to go get your car looked at, really making sure that those things are all taken care of. But, you know, it could be a lot about finances, and it could be a lot about, you know, learning lessons in your finances, learning lessons in, you know, not feeling like you have to constantly hustle all the time and all of those things. So hopefully, I mean, all of us are going to get through this, period. Like, that's just a known already, that we're all going to get through this. The energy is going to be temporary. Just really make sure that you are preparing yourself for the unexpected and not allowing yourself to like sit in, you know, the things that are happening and being the victim of the things that are happening. Okay. So let's start with the surrender card. What is it that we're surrendering for the Cancer full moon? That one just flew right out. So surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. Yep. Yep. Surrender to the magic of who you are. Okay. So let's see. Let's do the energy leading up to the full moon in Cancer on January 6th. And oh yeah. Okay. You can't ignore the changes. Like, it's really possible to try to ignore the changes that are happening. It's really possible to try to ignore all of that. But at the end of the day, ignoring all of those changes it'll build up that tension inside of you. It'll build up that, a lot of, oh, hold on a second. It'll build up a lot of that pressure. It's going to feel pressurized. Okay. So the top line, we have the Two of Swords. We have the Tower. And we have the Knight of Swords. And this is kind of what I mean. Like, you're not going to see it coming. You're really not going to see it coming, and it's not going to be easy. But after the fact, there's a stability, and things sort of start to fall into place after the fact. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Page of Swords. And we have the Ace of Wands. You also can't really rush it. Like, there's one of the things that I've been saying is like, I just want to get over on the other side of this energy. I just want to get over on the other side of this energy. Like, I keep on saying that to myself, and that's literally like wishing my life away. And then I recognize that as I'm like moving away from, you know, as I'm getting over the things, you know, getting over this energy, it's in small ways. It's like the relief. It's not just like we turn the thing on the pressure cooker and the pressure starts to release. It's a slow release. You know, it's not just this, you know, if we were to just open that pan up, everything would explode because of the pressure that's inside the pressure cooker. But if you turn the thing and you allow it to slowly release the steam, it's not so violent. You know what I mean? So you absolutely won't see this coming. You know, we often want to try and guess how things are going to happen. And a lot of times we put ourselves in like the what if situations when that happens. But this bottom row really makes me recognize that no matter what's going on, and no matter what is crumbling, and no matter what foundation is no longer being supported, your words are magic. Your words are still creating things. You see that Page of Swords, your thoughts even are still creating things. And it feels very much like there's an opportunity to stay pretty grounded during the chaos right now, and staying pretty clear during the chaos sometimes, and not going into panic mode. There might be a moment of panic once it happens, but a lot of times it's really not about the panic mode. It's about allowing yourself to recognize that we're just not in control of all of the tiny details. Two of Swords. Whoa, okay. All right, so let's just talk about the top. Like, they want me to really go slow today and like not rush this reading. So we have the Queen of Cups on the Two of Swords. When you can't see it coming, when you have decisions that you need to make, but you can't see the destination, you can't see how things are happening, it can get very, very emotional. The Queen of Cups is here to remind you to use your intuition, really tap in. Remember, it's the magic, right? Surrender to the magic of who you are. Tap into your intuition, tap into the knowing of what you do, what you feel. It's not always about the logical of, what is it that I know? It's about what is it that I feel? The Seven of Pentacles on the Tower. Every part of evolution, every part of our life, every situation that we're in gives us an opportunity to build something outside of it or after the fact. There's that tower is clearing space. And sometimes you don't want the space to be cleared. Sometimes you want to keep that space with the same people and the same situations and, all of the same experiences and, it's safe, it's comfortable. But we don't know what's best always. We don't always know what's best for us. Our ego likes to tell us that, what we think. And what you have to understand is that tower is evolution. And we all have to continue to change and move forward. And whether it's for the best, whether for better or for worse, we're always moving forward, whether it's heartbreaking or whether it's a celebration. Heartbreak can also be a celebration sometimes, but that Seven of Pentacles reminds us that we get to plant the seeds. We get to continue moving forward and planting the seeds even after a difficult time. And then on the Knight of Swords, where we could easily just fly off the handle and lose our shit and argue with people all the time, what we got clarified here was the Emperor, the Seven of Cups, and Justice. You cannot control the confusion. You cannot control the emotional uproar. You cannot control the way things will play out. The only thing you can do is find the balance there for yourself. And reminding yourself that it's okay to grieve the tower situation. Reminding yourself that it's okay to not know what to do next. Reminding yourself that it's okay sometimes to just sit and wait for an answer. And that answer could easily come from something in the material world and the outside world, or that answer could easily come from inside of yourself. And neither one is wrong. Neither one is, it's not a wrong way to be able to get an answer, but knowing that we're not in control of all of that is a lot easier than trying to hold on to the control of everything. The King of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, Page of Swords and the Ace of Wands. Let's see how we get through these things. There is a bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands. Eight of Swords on the King of Pentacles. It's very easy to slip into a mindset. The Eight of Swords is very much like, a self-imposed imprisonment of the mind. And the Eight of Swords is something that we create. This is the suffering that I was talking about earlier. It's very easy for you to overthink. It's very easy for you to get into a stage of suffering in your mind. It's very easy to feel confused after things don't make sense. And here's the thing is the Three of Swords on the Nine of Cups. This is where the healing begins, right? When we can allow ourselves to stay grounded and move out of a state of suffering, we can begin healing the wounds. I feel like I need to make sure that you understand that there's no time crunch. There's no time process. There's no, of healing these wounds that we feel like have kind of consumed us. We're kind of obsessed by the wounding part. There's no time crunch on the healing. And you take all the time that you need, as long as it's not impeding your journey, as long as you are learning through that, because the difference between suffering within this heartache and within this overthinking and within these wounds, the difference between suffering and healing is the allowance. When we allow ourselves to heal, when we allow ourselves to see things in a different perspective and not just sit in what has happened to us. Do you see? And a lot of times things are happening to other people and we take that on as it's our thing that we should be suffering from. So taking your time, we have the Knight of Pentacles on the Page of Swords, really taking your time, one thing at a time, not overwhelming yourself with the details. You can see all the details, but not overwhelming yourself with those details is really going to stop you from overthinking. And really, it's going to stop you from overthinking the hurt as well. Taking things by face value, taking things in each new moment as if they're being presented just to you to handle and respond in a particular way. Okay. And then we have the King of Cups on the Ace of Wands. You might not be able to see the blessing through the emotions, and that's okay. You might not be able to see the way things are going to turn out through the pain and through the overthinking. But the more you allow yourself to process those emotions, and the more you allow yourself to put yourself, to showing up for yourself in every single way, and talking about what's going on in your life. Like, I'm the kind of person, and, I know Capricorns are very much this way too. And the reason why we're like this is because we were born tiny adults. But I'm the kind of person that, like, I process things within myself first before I go to anybody. Sometimes I'll go to like people that I trust, like my partner or I'll go to some very dear friends of mine if I need to be able to process things in a different kind of way and just be able to talk about it. A lot of times I need to talk through the things that are happening in order for me to process it. But at the end of the day, and the reason why I wanted to do this now is because I know that there's been a lot of rough situations that have happened through this holiday season for a lot of people. So the reason why that's why I wanted to do this today. And it's absolutely imperative that at the end of every single day, you show back up for yourself. Absolutely imperative. That's really going to help you to not overthink things. That's really going to help you to not take on other people's emotions. Sometimes we're sort of tasked with holding the emotions of other people, but again, you can't sit in that. That's sort of, playing the martyr. Like, you can take on other people's emotions, but if you're going to take them on so that you can be praised for it later, then you're really, playing the martyr role. And we don't want to do that either. So, there's always something changing in our lives. And so, this is not an easy reading to get through. So I hope that you guys do have a wonderful New Year's, and you allow things to be released so that they can be rebuilt on a different foundation. Doesn't mean it's a bad foundation. It doesn't mean the last foundation was bad either. It's just time to change, and it's time to move forward and move on. So I love you guys. Again, thank you for all of the support, and make sure that you're checking out those general 6-month readings as well. I love you guys. Bye.